Disciple, the host of Spiritual Drive Show. She am Mama Peg, a bring power, the power of life, Herbal Center, and I was Spiritual Drive Show. So, aha, near share home, near my meet said, Obeda Sudana winning Obida, Obasudana Woody, and I said, Obi, our pioneer, one our dying, and I said, Yari bit is a stroke, diabetes, hepatitis B. And I said, oh, pet, I will. I be discussing in our show. So, there was a your bomb pie man, one of the bomb pie man. There was a dear draw council, a draw away also, and the back count. I'm a winner, Wahato.
And auntie, she am any disciple. If you're then you will be a brave on a tree, a good
Our Click TV, now be in Shira. Former song for Disciple, the host of Spring.
Welcome to Click Telegram English class. Most of you have been urging me to give you the English version of the Telegram class, and I remember vividly promising you that Tuesdays between 8 to 10 I'll make time and start with the English version as well. This is the first series of our English class. Now, the main concept or the main aim of this class is not for me to spoon feed you, no. But what I will do is, you see, each and every one of us has this passion in us. If you have the passion in you to use herbs or to study Mother Nature to help others, then this is a class that I will recommend for you. If you don't have the passion, then I don't think you should waste your data to join this class. This class has been on for quite some time, but due to the nature of the lecturing, that is why we are giving you the visual class. So if today is your first time, I will start with you with some of the things that we've treated on the platform earlier on, before coming to the visual class, for you to recommend that we give you the English version of it, because most of you don't understand the language that at times I use in terms of lecturing. So today is our first series of the English Telegram class. This is for whoever has interest in learning how to use herbs, both spiritual and physical. That is what we treat here. If you want to join this English class, there's a Click office line currently beneath your screen. Call that number. When the lady answers, tell her you want to join the English class. She will add you to an English study group where everybody in that study group speaks English. Now, whatever that I come and teach you that you don't understand, you discuss it among yourself in a group. If it's beyond you, then you bring it on the main platform, asking your questions or putting your questions across on the main platform. Then I will be able to give you the little that God has blessed me with, for you to understand everything. Today, we are starting with something that is very, very common in our daily activities. And at times we overlook it, and when such occurrences occur, we lose such people forever. Now, we live in two dimensions. That is the physical and then the spiritual. What most of you know what a power line is. If producer can get the power line and put it on, you understand what I'm telling you. A power line does not meet. It doesn't meet. It goes all the way. And before you can move to the other side of it, of the line, then you need to get, for instance, a ladder, or let's say a bridge to connect you from that side to the other. You can't just jump to the other side. You cannot. That is how our physical realm, that is what we see here. Okay, and then the spiritual side, that is how the picture looks like. Most of the times, we sleep, and then in our course of sleeping, yes, it's on the screen now. In our course of sleeping, we dream. When you are dreaming, your soul is out. Okay, so when the soul is out there, whatever that you are seeing are things that are happening spiritually. Okay, the soul that is out of your body, moving about, trying to show you things that are hidden spiritually, that might happen physically. It's telling you that we live in 2 dimensions. So as you are sleeping in this physical realm, which we have blue and then red. So for instance, the blue should represent this physical world that we live in, and then the red represents the spiritual world that we have as well. Now, you cannot just jump from this physical realm to the spiritual. You need something to connect you to the spiritual side. And that thing that can connect you from this physical realm to the other side is called portal. I hope most of you understand what a portal is. A portal is like a door. It opens for just a short time, and then it closes. And when it opens and you enter, depending on where the portal is leading to, that is where you will go to. So if a portal that can open for you to enter to, maybe if I'm around this location and a portal can open, and when I enter within a space of seconds, I can reach about 240 something kilometers within a second. It tells you how powerful the portal is. It's the same thing. That is what brings us to our topic today. If you have someone, or you know of someone who is ill, and the person is not going to be a liability on you or your family or whomever is connected with such a person, there are so many ways, or there's a simple formula that I can teach you. Then when you apply it within a space of 2-3 hours, such a person will be revived. Now, before a person dies, or a person exists through the portal to the spiritual realm, the 3rd day before the spirit will depart, or the soul will depart from this physical realm that we have, it takes 3 days. So, for instance, the sick person, most occasions, you have to, they fall ill, and as a result, they are, in a bed for quite some time. Then as a result, they cross, or they go through the portal to the spiritual side. And by doing so, as they have crossed to the other side, they still breathe, they still eat, they do everything. But there are certain signs that when they begin to show that sign, and you are very deep, or you are very knowledgeable when it comes to these spiritual aspects or signs that shows you that such a person has crossed the portal, and the portal too opens within that 3 days. So whilst the portal is open, there's a possibility, 100% guarantee, that if the person is aged, and bringing the person back will not be okay, or will not be comfortable for the person. you can let the person go without doing or applying this formula on such a person. If it's a young person and then you check and he or she is not going to be a reliability on the family or on the people taking care of such a sick person, then you have to let that such a person go, cross over to the other side, so that the body can go back to the earth where it all we all re-emerges from as nature. Now, before you go to apply this formula on someone who has gone through the portal to the land of the dead, first of all, you will need salt. When I talk about salt, not just ordinary salt, the one that we use for our daily cooking that has an iodine in it. No, you need a crystal salt. When I talk about crystal salt, non-iodinated salt is a very rocky salt. That is what you need. Then you will need a bay leaf. Remember that what you are going to, the formula that you are going to apply is both physical and spiritual side. One, you are applying it for things to happen within the person's body, so that the soul will find it very attractive to come back and live within it. As we are moving ahead, you understand it bit by bit. We are not going to hurry to understand, to force ourselves to understand things. We will take our time gradually to understand most of these spiritual issues. As you are about to embark on this formula journey, first of all, put these crystal salts in a bucket and then add the bay leaf to it, okay? And make sure the bay leaf and then the salts are very concentrated in the water that you are having in the bucket. Now, use it to wash down from your head to toe, okay? This bath that you are doing is like a shield. It's giving you a shield. And when we talk about spiritual shield, it's something that protects you from when maybe a spirit crosses from the spiritual side to this physical side that we are, and you have that shield, you are able to protect yourself from such spirits. Most of them are very bad, and the bad ones can put you through an uncomfortable situations that it's very, very difficult to absorb. So to be sure of what you are doing, get your bay leaf, get your rocky salts, make sure they are highly concentrated in the water and wash down with it. In order not to feel salty, after that you can bath with fresh water, your soap and your sponge. When it's done, automatically you have that, it's like magnet, okay, that drives away, let's say, north and south poles, okay? So it's like a magnet that drives away other things that are not supposed to come in contact with it. So the things that are not supposed to come in contact with you, those things are very, very, very dangerous when they enter you or when they get in contact with you. Spiritually, they can destroy so many things of what you have, and then it can lead to manifest in the physical realm as well. So what do? After you have done all this, you will need 3 spices, and these spices, we have them in our kitchen. So please, the first thing that you are supposed to do is to protect yourself before you go in to assist the one that is ill. Okay, maybe such a person, when he or she departs, can affect the family very much. Why? Because he or she holds very important informations. He or she has so many things to finish or accomplish before such a person can depart. So by applying this formula on them, you are definitely going to have an opposition side coming in to harm you as well. So you need to also fortify yourself before you go and apply this formula on such a sick person, because you are talking about the both physical and then spiritual. So you need to fortify yourself spiritually before you go in and then help such a person. You need these spices. We have them in our kitchen. Producer, if you can put them on the screen, we have Negro pepper, we have ginger, and then alligator pepper. Most of you know the Negro pepper to be Xylopia ethiopica. So you need these 3 spices, which you can find them in the kitchen. Now, this is how you are going to put them together and how you apply them. First of all, make sure you get a dry Negro pepper, very dry Negro pepper. Negro pepper or Xylopia ethiopica is very, very hard. Very, very, very hard to ground it. Ginger is very tender. Alligator pepper, likewise. The alligator pepper, you need dry alligator pepper seeds. Not the whole pod, but you need quite an amount of the alligator pepper seeds. And then the ginger, you need fresh ginger. So first of all, you need Negro pepper, you need ginger, and then alligator pepper. These are 3 spices that you are going to combine or put together for your formula to bring back someone who has crossed or gone through the portal to the land of death. Now, let me give you a little bit symptoms that such people show that will tell you that they have crossed to the land of death. They are able to tell you that I will die, I will not survive, is 1. 2, they will begin to tell you stories about people that are already dead. Some even died before you were born. They begin to tell you, oh, I've seen such a person, I've seen this, I've seen that. And all the people that he or she is telling you are gone. Now, their senses of smelling ceases. They can't smell because the soul that controls this body has gone through that portal, and it's the soul that controls this whole body for it to have these senses to be active. So their senses of touch, at times about 80% also moves. Their senses of taste also leaves. Their senses of seeing, hearing, all these also departs. All they can do is, most at times, some can eat because you continue to force them, eat a little, eat a little. Some will eat, even though they are in the stage that they have gone through the portal to that red line that was indicated, to the land of the death or to the spirit land. They can still eat. Why? Because they are still breathing, and this breathing that they are breathing and the eyes that you see that is open is just a camouflage for you to know that, oh, I'm still around. But on the 3rd day, it will depart. And that is when the portal closes, they go forever. So when maybe you have a sick person at home and he or she is showing these symptoms that I've mentioned, he or she is telling you stories about dead people. When you visit them, they are not able to figure who is there. What they do is, because the soul has departed and the portal is still open, where they are, the soul can still see the body as it is. For instance, this studio, okay, I am the soul for this studio. When I'm here, a lot of things goes well. I am able to clean here. I am able to make sure here smells very good. So whenever I am within this building, I feel very okay. Why? Because the smell and everything that is coming from this studio is very good for me, and that is what I like. But as soon as the soul departs from the body and goes through the portal to the land of the death or the spirit land, automatically what they smell is totally different. At times they will tell you, I can smell something different. I can taste something different. Yes, because when the soul is within the body, it fills it with what surrounds it. Now the soul has departed. So the body as it is, okay, the soul being the air or the atmosphere of where the soul is, that is what the soul can project through the body for it to voice out. So for instance, because it cannot, the senses of smell ceases when they enter through that portal. The senses of seeing also cease. We have most people, excuse me to say, who are disabled, they are blind. But once you get closer to them, they are able to identify you by your perfume or by your odor. The odor around you, they are able to identify you by that and figure that, oh, it's you. They can mention your name. It's you, Joe. It's you, Enoch. But how come such a person in that state, when you get there and you are talking, you have to even talk aloud before they can hear? It's a sign. If you are having such a situation, it's a sign telling you that the soul has departed from the body to the other side. But all hopes are not lost. You can still bring back the soul into the body. And this is how you are going to do it. Because the soul is standing afar, and the person that maybe you are visiting will try and talk to you that, oh, I can see A, I can see B. Yes, what he or she is telling you is true. Because where the soul is as at then is what is projecting. It's just like you sleeping and dreaming. Whatever you see, when you wake up, you tell people around you, I dreamt that I was here, I was there. All these are part of it, which are happening in the physical aspect. Now, the physical aspect is when the person is down and then the body, the soul has departed from the body. So it's up to you. If you want to know how to help people out of this predicament, then you need to get your exercise book and your pen closer to you so that you will be able to jot these things down, because as we move along, it will go a long way to help you. It's not all the time that you get me or you have the opportunity for me to come and give you such lecturing. At times, I may move from that point for you to understand this school and give you another dimension so that you can understand whatever we are discussing or whatever lecturing that I'm giving you. Now, you've done your protection. for yourself. I've given you the signs that when, or the symptoms that when they start showing, it means that they have gone through that portal to the other side. And remember, if such a sick person is going to be a reliability to you, don't apply this formula on them. Or if you are not related to such a person, maybe for instance, those of you abroad who are into health sectors, most of you practice yours at home. You call it home care, where you take care of the aged and other things. Okay. Before you, maybe when such a person starts giving you such instances or the behavior changes, they can't eat properly, they can't identify you when you are even closer, even though you have used a strong perfume, which is even okay for such a person to identify that, oh, it's you, Rita, it's you, Enoch. But they cannot identify you. Why? Because the soul has moved from that person that you are taking care of. And before you apply what I'm going to teach you on them, please make sure that whomever you are taking care of, the family, such a person living will not be a problem to the family. If the person that you are taking care of living will be a big problem to the family, you can suggest to them that you know this formula that you can apply on the person and he or she will come back or regain their consciousness. When you tell them and they tell you such a person is tired, let him or her go. Don't go and apply, because the more you take care of the person, the more money you earn. Don't do that. If it's an old person in your home and you bringing or applying the formula on the person can generate into a lot of other dependence on the family, don't say you know the formula, so you are going to apply it on them. Just let them go, because they have already crossed through the portal. So let them go. Don't apply those formulas on them, because when they come back, it will go a long way to hurt them. And nobody wants to be hurt. So you have to bear that in mind. I remember someone called me one day about 3 months ago that my dad is dying. He's into coma. He's gone into coma for 3 days. And then I asked her, now you applying this formula that I'm going to teach you on him, is it going to be a problem on the family when he comes back? She said no. Then I asked again, are you sure when you apply this formula on such a person, it's not going to be a problem to your family? She said no. Then I gave this formula, as I'm going to share with you, to her. She applied it in the morning. In the evening, the sick person was back. Okay, the soul had come back to the body. And now, this is what that sick person was saying. Where I went was very scary. I don't want to go there again. I'm afraid. It tells you that that person landed at a very scary place. Others land in a good place, depending on what you do on this physical aspect or this physical realm that we live in. Now, what pains me is, she said that sick person is not going to be a liability to the family. So I expected that more attention will be given to such a person during their recovering stage. But what happened? They left the sick person to be there alone for just strangers to be taking care of such a sick person. And the sick person was not being treated well. It pained me that I shouldn't have even shown her or given her this formula, because I asked her and then she said yes. All in the name of the person coming back and the whole family leave him hanging for strangers to be taking care of him. Let me take a short break and drink water. When I come back, I will show you how these 3 spices, when you put them together, what they does or they do in the body for it to be clean, so that when the soul is coming, it seizes it as a fresh body for it to come in. Why? Because in that state whereby the soul leaves the body, it means that the body is no more comfortable for the soul to live in or to live in. That is why it departs when the portal opens. It needs somewhere where the soul will feel comfortable. So when the portal opens, it departs to such place. Let me drink just a glass of water. When I come back, we'll put our spices together, and then the formula, the process as to how we'll give it to such a person